is. That's that. And because they are our seed, right? It's the black son that's going to continue to carry the legacy on, and we continue to build through the culture. You know what I'm saying? And so we have to. Why do you think it's just such a sometimes the word escapes me as to how I really feel about what's happening to us when I think about how we're getting shot down in these streets.
Yeah.
I don't even have a word that's big enough to describe the hole that it leaves in my soul.
Yeah.
Every time I hear that a Black man has been killed, Black boy been shot, and we're out here shooting each other. It's like what we are doing, we're literally wiping ourselves off of this earth. I give it 100 years max if one Black person can even be found on this earth. It'll be surprised in the rates that we're going in terms of how we are killing one another with no explanation, no real reason, nothing that cannot be ungunned, nothing that cannot be removed and uprooted from the core, and you choose a better way. And the reason that you choose in a better way, it's not to make you less than, it's to elevate you. It's taking you above the situation, not beneath it. Right. See, once I understood that my power wasn't in this, but my power was in this, in the tongue, the power of death and life is in the tongue.
Yes.
And so what I say is what will be, and what will be is what I believe, and what I believe is only what I know.
You did it again. You said some key pieces again, to where, again, like I say, when we stop we're coming up, we were exposed to stuff that was meant to help us move forward thinking. Yeah. The stuff these kids are exposed to now through this internet, it ain't helping them move forward thinking.
Say that. See, so now listen here. Now, see, you're gonna have to bring me back on for a whole nother taping, because now you done tapped into something. So, because I need to send you a piece after this. I got to send to you for you to listen to. This guy did this poetry piece that I was blown away by it, because he broke it down in that quick little clip. Basically, he was talking about the music industry. The music industry really is the new drug.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because when they give them a record deal and allow them to say things across the airwaves that then seep into our minds, and because what we think is what we start to do. So if I allow you on the mic to say, I'm finna blast them up, I'm about to, because I'm on the come up, I'm a blast them up because I'm on the come up.
Yeah.
So basically, what is that saying? That's saying that anybody get in my way of me being able to make this lateral move and to get my money and for me to be on top, then I'll kill all of y'all before I let you stand in the way of what I do. That's a whole message of negativity and nonsense.
Yeah.
But that's the kind of thing that we are allowing to be sold and to be heard, and for our children to basically take into their system.
You're right.
We're programming them. But what if it's simple as, why you think gospel music has never ever been number one? No. Why do you think even R&B music now? Who's singing R&B? Do we know we got an R&B artist out?
They don't even push R&B no more.
Right. Because what? That's love songs. We don't want you to love each other.
Right. Right.
Because if you love each other, see, we ain't got no songs to even make love to no more, right? Because we don't want you making no more babies. We trying to get rid of y'all.
Dr.
And
Casey,
so
there you go, Dr. Casey. Keep going, keep going, keep going, Dr. Casey. Keep going.
we trying to get rid of y'all. So we know when y'all start listening to them love songs, y'all gonna be dating and getting along, and that's not what we want. We need so the only people that we're going to allow to be artists and making good money would be those who can not afraid to go to the studio and rap about what's going on in their communities and take y'all all down. Just like that. Take y'all down. So that's the first thing. Then now let's say somebody slips through the cracks that gets a song for $30 on the internet. They got a good beat going and they make a song, and all of a sudden out of nowhere they become a star. What was the name of that song? Old time.
Yeah, old time road. Yeah.
Okay, so this young man, and you done slipped through the cracks, and you done made so much money off of this one song, and now what we got to do to you?
Dr. Casey, keep going, because you see it. You see it. Come on.
Yeah. So now what we got to do to you? We got to now execute you through, you know what I'm saying? We got to take we can't allow you to be masculine. We can't allow you to be out front and be leading in a way that you giving them a way out. So now we gonna just strip all of that away from you and go watch his video. I don't even want to take this time out to tear down individuals, but I'm gonna let you see it for yourself. If you haven't seen his video, I want people to go and watch his video, and then you'll see what I was trying not to say. But the point of it is, when are we going to stand up and know that we're strong enough to be in a better place because we're working together, not to take anybody else down, but to elevate ourselves. If I'm running my race, I'm never worried about what kind of tennis shoes the person got on next to me. I'm hoping these Nikes I got on gonna get me to the finish line, right? I'm worried about me.
Yeah.
And so that, when are we going to do that? See, so when are we going to get to a place where we can work together and understand that it's about completion and not competition? When we understand that it's about respect and not about disrespect. It's about life and not about death. When are we going to choose the positive?
When they can't make no money off of it.
Well, nah.
I say, Dr. Casey, I'm telling you, we own something on this bad, but look, and again, we ain't got, now let's move to the next level of Dr. Casey. Now, do you remember the first time we actually sat down and met?
Well, I'll say this. I think it was when one of my first shows that I did and Nikki Roach was she played the lead in my show, which was, what was that one called? Lord Knows I Tried. Is that correct?
Now, the show, what was the show before that?
No, that was my first show. Lord Knows I Tried was my first show.
Okay, so because the thing of what that you got the main character, because like I said, Nikki brought us over to the church that was over by Riverview Gardens, and when we got to the church, it was like, I'm like, okay, came in, and I saw you. I'm like, she looked familiar. Then when Nikki said the name, we got to laughing, and then me and you started talking, and you mentioned Riverview, and I'm like, okay, so yeah, I was over there for a little bit, and it was like, wait a minute, I remember you was with such and such, and it's like, wow. But again, like I said, that was full circle at that point in time, because like I said, you were doing your plays and the stuff you were going through and bringing to light was like, okay, I got you. Well, hey, I need to be with you, and let me know when I can and how I can. And I mean, it was because, like you said, it was something in what you were doing that I saw. Yeah, this young lady's she on to something. And if I can help it, then fine. And then again, like I say, being that we have been taught that I don't care what nobody say, it was just taught to us that if you from the view, regardless of how long you were there, you view it. Don't, as long as you say
Yeah.
it, we gonna roll with it. And that
Yeah.
was part of the whole piece. And that play, like I said, you were doing, now that we see it and hear it, you were doing your releasing then in that play.
Listen, that's been what, 20 years ago now, something like that.
Yeah.
And this the thing. Let's share with them what that play was about. That play had a murder in it.
Yeah.
That Nikki Roach character was the main character. She had married a guy that wasn't the father to her teenage son. And she was getting abused. They got into a situation in a tussle. The gun went off. Nikki Roach character killed her husband. And I remember rolling a Eddie Randall and Sons body bag out. And people was like, so it was like 20 years ago. It's almost as if God was dropping something in my spirit then of that. This is how everyday and natural this gonna be. Y'all gonna be rolling body bags up out y'all houses or what have you, because y'all gonna be killing each other and families. And it's like, I saw it.
Wow. Yeah.
I saw it. And so, I mean, and really, when I think about almost every play that I've done, it's got some kind of really like hidden message, or it's almost before its time. Just like, just a couple of years ago, I released my one-woman show where I played my great-grandmother, my grandmother, my mother, my brother, my daughter, and it's about my own life and just sharing how trauma is it's generational, and how that multi-generational trauma just continues to thread through. It's what I call trauma tracing. It's the same thing as they doing with COVID. They're COVID tracing. So with COVID, it means who's sick and who have they been around. Right. And then now have they affected those who they have, possibly been in the area with. Okay, that sounds like trauma to me.
Yeah.
Who's sick?
Right.
And who have you been around? Right. And has your trauma affected me?
Yeah, that's it.
So I call it trauma tracing. And that's what I do through showing that through the example of it through my stage play of how that trauma began with my great grandmother when she lost her two sons, and that depression just trickled down. And instead of us getting a hold of it then, it just continued to trickle down, and we coping. And here we are all the way down to, right now I got a grandson, just came home from school sick. You know what I'm saying? And so we got to strengthen our babies up. The core, the mental, the physical, the spirit, all of that is what covers the family and makes the family strong.
Yeah, and like I say, and then when you did it for the first time, and me being just allowed to capture it and put it together, I mean, the stories, I mean, the way you did it, like I said, once again, your gift. I mean, because you made everybody in the room feel where you were and where they were. To what I say, you brought, if they didn't know your great grandmama, when you finished, it was like, yeah, okay, I know such. How? Cause Marty, yeah, I knew that. Yeah, I knew, and then there's people who knew, like I said, when it came out to the point you doing your mother, and the crowd's reaction to that was like, and Mama was sitting there. And she just nodding her head like, okay,
that's me.
That's me. And that's the beauty of it. And even doing your daughter, and she was like, yeah, that's because, again, regardless, when you giving people stuff from the heart and they know it's from the heart, nobody got offended. Everybody was like, wow, because they got a chance to see through your eyes how you saw them. And they see themselves, and you showed, like I said, you showed the tough part. You showed the sometimes, that was a bad decision. But the major piece you showed is they survived, and they were survivors. And in doing that, you have learned how to survive, not just for you, but for them. Because like I said, your surviving, boom, your mama feels better because you saw and you were able to overcome some of the things that she couldn't. Your daughter sees you as being not just mama, but showing that I got to go through some things to make sure you get what you got. And then for her to show it back to her son, that love, I mean, it's a beautiful thing, and I thank you, Dr. Casey, because I say I wish I could write a poem. Look, wish I could write a play, but all I can do is videotape stuff and get people to conversate and make it look like, hey, I created this.
But listen, I'm gonna tell you, Cecil, what you do is so important, and I'm gonna tell you why. It's probably the most important part of everything of what's being created. Because if we create something and we can't document it and we don't have it to go back to see it, which is what you captured through videotaping and archiving that, if we don't have it, it's almost as if we didn't even do it.
Right.
Because then all you have is my word against someone else's, right? I was just telling somebody, I was like, I remember meeting Aretha Franklin. I was performing in Detroit, and she was performing in Detroit. We happened to be staying at the same hotel at the time. I get on the elevator, and there's Aretha standing to the back of the elevator with some man or what have you. And I was like, oh, Miss Franklin, how you doing? She was like, I'm fine, baby. How are you? I said, I'm wonderful. And I said, I'm here performing, with a show at the so-and-so. And I said, what brings you here? And she was like, yeah, I had a show tonight. And I was like, oh my God, oh, wow. And then here my floor came up and I got off. Now, I don't have a picture. I don't have no video. All you can do is just accept that I just told you that I experienced this and it's the truth, right? Yeah. But the bottom line is when you can document it, and I tell people all the time, that's why I put a lot up on social media, on Facebook. It's not to brag, but it's to document. It's to let you know, y'all, I'm doing this. This happened. Don't forget. Don't let them tell you something different. That's it. Okay? I'm not brand new at this stuff. Sometimes people just not paying, may have just met me in the last couple of years and they're thinking, oh, she's doing any and everything. She's all over the place. No, I'm consistent. I've been doing this since I was 19. That's it. This just didn't start for me, And so and not that matters, but what really matters is that when I'm no longer here to tell you. That's it. Then who's going to grab a hold of my story and say to you, oh, Marty was before her time. Marty was doing things on stage, or Marty was writing for this person or doing that. And you're going to wait and give me my value after I'm gone, right? Mm. But if you have nothing to even see as a collective, you're not going to ever be able to give it to me. Now, what's important, it's not about me, but it's about the reason why I did it so that it can help somebody else. Yeah, that's it. The reason we're in bad shape today as a culture is because we have nothing documented about how the greatness of who our ancestors were. Say that. And that is, again, that was the reason why I actually started this during the pandemic, because it was like, I just sitting and I'm saying to myself, I had lost my grandmother, and I'm like, I don't have anything. Luckily, I recorded her. I had to trick her. And so I was doing it for a project for my master's. And I got her to give me the breakdown in her mind of how the family was formed. So I got my family tree set up to that point. But I'm thinking like, I know people and their situations and stuff they've gone through. And if they don't have it recorded, or if they don't get it out there, who gonna tell it? I had a chance with David Peaston before he passed. I was like, Dave, can I interview you? He's like, we got time. All right, I waited. And I left it alone, and he passed. I had Diane White. We were going to do her video piece on her life, and she passed. I'm like, no, I can't do that no more. I got to at least make an attempt. And if you tell me no, I tried, but my goal is to get stuff out here to where, like you said, once I get through with this and put it out there, it's out there. To where if anybody types in your name or my name, they see, ooh, he not only knew Marty Casey, but he talked to Marty Casey. He documented my stuff. He documented my stuff. That's it. See, I want them to know we didn't just go to school together. We've co-created some work together, some stuff that's going to go down in history. I just truly do believe at some point in time, that piece right there, that one woman show, that you documented, they gonna go back and find that in the archives, and that's gonna be playing some places, because it's not so much that I'm puffed up to believe that I'm somebody. It's not that, but it's really the calling that you have on your life. And I know that for me, Cecil, to the day I take my last breath, I got to do what God has called me to do. Yeah. And he's already shown me, and I'm not even going to go into that and share it, but I will say this. You all haven't even seen the beginning of me yet.
Oh, man.
As to what God has shown me I'm going to do. And I pray that what he's shown me, it will be that I will be able to sustain and carry that out. That is my prayer, you know, and if in fact that happens, or when that happens, I should say, that it's going to be a blessing to the masses, Cecil. And I believe it's going to be the thing that's going to turn around a lot of what we're seeing happening from a negative impact of our culture. We got to build our culture back up in a positive way. This is part of what God has called me to do, right? This isn't local. This isn't national. This is international. And so it's bigger than Marty. It's bigger than St. Louis. It's bigger than all of us. You know what I'm saying? We all got a say in this. We all got a part to play in this here, Cecil. But I know that when you go back in history, they're going to say, well, who started it? Where did it start? Right? So yeah, they're going to see your work again. They're going to see your work attached to my name, and thank God for that, because you are amazing and awesome. I mean, you here working for one of the largest mega churches in the city. You know what I'm saying? And the work that you do, and and who you have worked with, even calling out the name David Peaston. David Peaston and I, we were friends. This is somebody I toured with for 2.5 years. Me and David Peaston opened up the show. We was the first two faces you seen, and be careful what you pray for. And that's where I played Cuba Gooding Sr.'s mother. And I played Shirley Murdoch's mother-in-law. So David Peaston was one of the church friends or what have you that would stop by, and he was auditioning for me, which is funny within itself because people still audition for me, but he was auditioning for me, and I'll never forget, you know, because at that time, you know, David was in the beginning of really battling with his diabetes or what have you, and he wear that boot or what have you, because he had, you know, surgeries on his feet and legs, but he'd have that boot on, and he come across it with that cane. And he's like, yeah, and he, all right, Mother Lucille, I'll come to audition for you. I said, well, all right, well, let me see what you got other than all of that you got. You know, let me see what else you got. You know, and so, I mean, we was, like you said, that whole Jonan was what we put that in stage plays to make our people laugh. That's why Tyler Perry's work is so, you know, well received, because it's part of our culture. That's what we did. We talk about you. That was love, right?
It was love. That's it. So, that's it.
That David Peaston opened up and he sang God Bless the Child. And within, I mean, we wasn't 5 minutes in the show and he already done wrecked the people. And then he sit down on the couch and said, now, Mother Lucille, what do you think? I said, well, I think I might have to call a tow truck in order to get you back up off that couch, but you sounded pretty good, you know, and so it's, you know, so we had fun. Those are, and David Peaston, this is the one thing that I have to say about him. That's something that he taught me. And David taught me is that, Marty, you can create anything that you have not been welcome to come and do. Like, in other words, don't wait on somebody to invite you to do something. Go on and create it for yourself.
That's it. Yeah.
He pushed me to do that. That was David Peaston and Cuba Gooding, because Cuba was a good friend of mine too. And, you know, we lost Cuba a few years back.
Yeah.
And that 1 year before Cuba, before he died, he came here and surprised me for my 45th birthday. And I'm 50 now. So that was 5 years ago. But anyway, Cuba said to me, Marty, you know, Marty, all you need is one good song. Do you know I have one good song, and that is Everybody Plays a Fool. I don't care where you are when you hear that song. You know, it's Cuba. It's me. It's me singing. He says, that's all you need. That one good song will pay you for the rest of your life. When are you going to write that one good song for yourself, Marty?
Wow.
And it made so much sense. But this is the key. He says that one song has to be for everybody. You can't write a song where you're limiting it to just a group of people.
Mm-hmm.
He says, when I said everybody plays a fool, that's what I meant. Everybody does. And it was the truth. You know what I mean?
Yes,
Everybody could relate to it. So him just putting the word everybody in it made it welcomed everyone to sing this song and be a part of this song. When you think about the songs that we are singing now, because I'm an artist, so I'm going to always care about that. But when you think about the songs that our culture is singing, we only singing about what we think we're going through.
Yeah.
We're limiting our message to, as they said, you know what I'm saying? I'm preaching to the choir.
Yeah.
The choir already behind the preacher. They done heard this sermon over and over again. Why y'all keep singing to the choir?
Yeah.
If you really want to change something through your music, open it up for everybody.
Yeah.
So again, I've tried to always surround myself around people, Cecil, that could pour into me, that was already on levels higher than me, that could pour, just allow me to grab a hold of something that would take me a little bit higher. I didn't get to global status by myself. I got there because I was a sponge, because I paid attention, because I'm always jotting down things somebody's saying or doing, and not to mimic them, because I'm all about give credit where credit's due. I could have easily sat here and said, of what I just shared with you about what Cuba told me or what David Peaston told me. But I'm telling you, they told me this so that when I say something to you, I hope one day somebody say, Dr. Casey told me this. Right. And that is how we continue to build and bridge and pull to the future.
My name is Mrs. Pearline P. Hatley, and I'm Marty's great-grandmother, the owner of 4816 Lee. Oh, let me tell you, living in that home brought us some of the best memories for the whole family. My name is Gloria. Gloria Constance Webster. And I'm Marty's grandmother. You can give it up for me again. I thought my machine had hit something. Oh, man. Baby. Y'all know I love that boat. And if I wasn't on that boat, I was at BINGO. And I'm not going to say that was a mistake, because it wasn't, because I got 2 beautiful kids out of the marriage, that's for sure. But sometimes you just have to get out there on your own, and you got to bump your head a little bit. And that happened. It sure did. But baby, when my second husband came along, Emil, stand up, baby. Stand up. Stand up. Let him see you. Come on. Yes. Yes. Oh, yeah. And I know y'all didn't even know the reason that me and Emil met, it was because of Marty. You already know I'm not going to be out here long. My mom's a bully. Throw your hands up and play. That's my boy, y'all. And the 4 things I want you to take away is this. My great-grandmother taught me forgiveness. My grandmother taught me confidence. My mother taught me love. And my daughter taught me acceptance. When you put it all together, can't nobody stop you.